Tottenham have won a game, Flex.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
I can't believe it.
So
Jen
good.
Spence is posting penitentiary pictures once again.
Clean sheet as well.
Solanke with a hat-trick.
What a day. Join Rocket Mobile and get exclusive access to monthly Q&As and reward drops straight from the DR Sports crew. This one is for the real fans.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to Live at 5 here on a Wednesday where there is so much World Cup action to come tonight. There's a lot of World Cup action that happened last night and everything. And I think we've got to start by talking about England because they were very, very hyped up. I mean, I personally did it. I know Laurie did as well. But as you can see here, Laurie is fast asleep following what was...
Somebody... You woke me up after that England game.
He's sleeping because of England, by the way, not just because of my intro, even though it's slightly slower than maybe because I'm a bit tired and very, very hot and sweaty. But apart from that, obviously, England weren't great. We've got Laurie on my left-hand side as well, if you've just seen. And as well, back in the middle, we've got Kenya as well on the right-hand side, repping Argentina today.
Well, I just have a top on.
So you're not repping Argentina, you're just...
I just have a top on.
Yeah. But it's out it's been what, 18 hours since that game. It was
and
boring.
I'm still
No
sleeping.
shots on target in the first
I just woke
half.
up.
Laurie's had 30 hours sleep in the last 2 days because of the game. But I just think it was
Mate.
It was boring.
Can I
It was
just ask a
boring.
question? Was that the worst game you've seen so far?
Of the tournament?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got to be up there, isn't it?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I think that is the worst game of the tournament so far. Because not even for example, the other 0-0s and stuff have at least been somewhat exciting.
Yeah.
It's been Cape Verde
Yeah,
0,
exactly.
Spain 0, or it's been
Yeah.
Curacao drawing 0-0 with Ecuador. Like that, they've been fun. This was terrible.
Yeah, it was. The energy from the start was just lackluster, wasn't it? I mean, England. I expected Ghana to play the way they did, so I'm not going to fault Ghana. I thought they defended really well, and they deserved a point. In fact, we were talking off air that they could have had a penalty. Having looked at it again, it looked like it was a penalty. But that being said, England had, at times, they were registering up to 80% possession. But the problem with it is, it was all in front of Ghana. It was slow. It was low intensity, and
Yeah,
I thought
England had
Ghana dealt with it quite
79%
easily.
possession. 79% possession.
What's damning about it is I thought that Ghana, even though they defended well, there was not much last gasp defending there, was there?
No, not really. Like you look at England's shots, they had 19 shots that game, 3 on target.
Yeah, and they just looked off it. And I think
England
Thomas
had
Tuchel needs to
33
look at
touches
that
in the
game
opposition
and
box.
think to himself, right, we need a couple of changes now because there's no way, for example, that Anthony Gordon can retain his position on the left after the
He
two
was
games that he's
anonymous,
played so
Gordon
far.
was absolutely anonymous that
Yeah.
game. He came off and I went, oh yeah, I forgot he started. That was my first reaction.
The Ghanaian back Sanaya, who was probably the best player on the pitch, actually, absolutely pocketed him.
Yeah.
To the point where Gordon got the ball at some stages in the second half, and you could see he didn't want to try to take him on because he knew.
I did an interview after the game with Haters last night, and basically the thing that I kept saying in the end was effectively, I think a big thing about this game wasn't necessarily the starting lineup. Like when the lineup came out, everyone was like, okay, that's pretty much what we expected. We've heard that Rashford has had a couple of injury possibility problems here. Same with Saka, obviously he's been playing week in, week out. Mark Gay was starting. Remember you were saying before, bring him in. That was the right call to make. Obviously Mark Gay came in. England did keep a clean sheet, admittedly. I don't think Ghana did anything to threaten England's clean sheet. They had 1 shot on target and 2 shots in total anyway.
Listen, we could play now until next week.
Yeah,
and
for
Ghana
sure.
were not
But
gonna
the thing
score.
is, for me, was then it took forever to make changes.
Yeah.
I was sat there being like, make change in the 55th minute, 60th minute here. Come on, Tuchel. Come on, do something.
I mean, I've
And,
said this
yeah.
about Anthony Gordon. And listen, Anthony Gordon is a good player. I want to say that. And I'm not scapegoating him because he was... See Kenya tomorrow.
Hear
No,
my
he is a
man.
good player, but let's
Hear
be
my
honest. He was way off it. But then so was... Why is Harry Kane on there till the end? I mean,
Yeah.
come on now. I mean, Harry Kane is a great goal scorer. We know that. But if he's not playing well and the team is playing under par, is it remiss of Thomas Tuchel to say, you know what, I've got a couple of decent forwards in the squad, let me give them a run out? I hope we're not going to see this.
Yeah.
I hope we're not going to see if Kane and 1 or 2 others are not performing well, then the manager being reluctant to take them off.
Yeah.
I hope that's not going to be the case because he's got a deep squad there.
Yeah, well, because like I was looking at it and his first subs were in the 65th minute. and it was O'Reilly on for Jed Spence. And to be fair, O'Reilly had one of the best chances of the game.
Yeah,
That header that hit the post at the end. And then
And who missed the
Bukayo
follow-up?
Saka. Yeah, and Kane missed the follow-up. Then Saka came on for Gordon. And the next set was 10 minutes later where Eze and Rodgers came on for Bellingham and Anderson.
Yeah.
And by that point, it started to feel as if the game was going to drag on to a 0-0, even though you started.
Oh, we could be playing
15
now, and
minutes
I
to go.
don't think we would have scored.
Genuinely.
Like, I just think my issue. Okay, my one criticism to Thomas Tuchel, I agree with you. I think the subs were too late. I personally think.
And I also think the wrong subs possibly as well.
Yeah, I said I wanted Morgan Rogers and Eze on because they're more likely to break.
But
you
I
know,
think
a
they
low
should have
block.
been the people that came on in the 65th minute, not in the 75th.
No, I completely agree. That's why I
Why are
said
you swapping your right back
That's why I
and
say
your left
Thomas
back in the
Tuchel,
first
like, yo, you should have just made that decision
earlier.
potentially even at halftime. Like, the reality is, I said one more in Brighton, which was amazing, by the way. Anthony
scenes looked incredible, even though the game was.
The scenes were unbelievable, which made it even more like annoying because everyone was really.
But I was
great.
with YouTube at Box Park.
Yeah.
And it was sick. It was so much fun yesterday. But then we all stood there on the big balcony on the side, and everyone just started like going back into the outside bit where there was no TV to just like film some content. Because they're like, nothing's gonna happen. They were like, nothing's gonna happen in the next 10 minutes. I may as well go film some content and then come back.
But I just think Anthony Gordon. I said this on Live at 5 4 months ago, and I got slated in the comments. Why is Anthony Gordon even going to the World Cup?
Christian.
We can't sit here and say, oh, Jared Bowen didn't go because he didn't really have a great season, or Phil Foden or Cole Palmer didn't go because he didn't have a good season, when them three players are better than Anthony Gordon. What's he done in any of the games so far? People are like, oh, it's only the start of the tournament. Well, this is what Anthony Gordon's been like every single game week for Newcastle. Why are we even surprised that he's playing the exact same way that he's played all season, where he's been absolutely dreadful? I actually felt sorry a bit for Jed Spence yesterday. How can you overlap someone that's not even on the wing? Like, he's looking for his winger. Where is Anthony Gordon? Oh, you're flipping stood next to Declan Rice, or you're God knows where you are. Like, no, you're out of sight. You don't even want to take on your man because you're afraid to do it. He was just completely out of ideas, and he was the same against Croatia. You saw Marcus Rashford comes on, instant impact, he scores. Like, I just think, to me, he cannot start the next game. If Marcus Rashford's not 100% fit, and you don't want to start him, then start Eze, then start Morgan Rogers, or play a different formation, then play a 4-4-2 or whatever it is. Get Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney on with Harry Kane, and play some different type of partnership, because we can't have another performance like that. I used to say it last season when we were watching Arsenal: don't reward bad starts. You can't keep rewarding someone who's not doing the basics, taking on their man, creating space, dribbling, holding the whip. He did nothing. He's just a cardio session. What's the point?
I agree. I mean, Ninacho7724 says, how can you say that when Ghana was denied a clear pen? I'm not quite
About
sure. I'm not sure what you said that.
When you said they could have been here all night and they wouldn't have scored. My answer to
No, I'm
that
talking
straight
about
away is
England. I'm talking about
England wouldn't
England.
have
We
scored.
could be here. We could still be playing now. We still wouldn't have scored. That's the thing. And I kept saying yesterday, right? People were talking about Ghana's defending. Name me maybe 3 times name me 3 big things that Ghana did in terms of defending.
No, but there was
just
nothing.
they
England
literally
had 3 shots on
they
target.
weren't tested. When we're sat here saying that a winger didn't even want to take on the fullback, of course the fullback's going to be chilling. Of course he's not going to have anything to do, is he? Like, that's the reality. I can't even remember really what did Reece James or Jed Spence have to do defensively. Nothing, because they weren't really tested either. Like, the reality is we didn't test Ghana at all. We just kept looking around, very slow, very methodical. We didn't have any ideas. And what was so frustrating is that we kept crossing into the box. Yo, look at that Ghana backline. They had some tall centre-back. He headed out everything.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that. That's where the manager and the players need to look at it like, right, they're a very tall, big team. They're crossing, they're heading out everything. It's almost like how Everton play, really.
Ghana
headed
had
out.
put in the exact performance of their coach Arsenal.
Yeah,
It worked perfectly.
Exactly.
Almost.
They headed out
All
everything.
they needed was a break or the penalty that they should have been given, and that would have been the perfect performance.
And I just feel like we looked like we were out of ideas. We had no plan B. What are you going to do other than crossing? Who's going to dribble into the box? Who's going to shoot from outside the box? Who's going to try and do something different? Nobody tried to do anything.
I think that was the most worrying aspect for me. I think it was, especially coming after the really good performance against Croatia, because Ghana presented a different type of problem. And our limitations were exposed for the world to see. And I'm sure other teams looking at that, they'll be thinking, Panama will probably be looking at it and thinking, hey, that's the blueprint. Let's defend deep and try and catch England on the break.
I think possibly England are a side, which is hilarious because I think it might be the opposite to when Gareth Southgate was in charge, is England might be a side that are better suited to playing better teams.
Yeah.
When a game is a bit more expansive, I thought, such as the Croatia game, that was more expansive, that was more, Croatia had a solid chance of winning that game, so they played football against England. England were then better. But when it came to them playing against Ghana, who had a more resolute style of play, when they wanted to play the game, it was all about, okay, shut England out, stop them from getting through us, and then try and get a penalty, try and get a goal on the break, or something like that. That's when England then struggled. So possibly England actually, this tournament might be better suited to playing the bigger teams, the teams that are going to have the higher ranked teams that are going to be able to, make
it's
the game
interesting,
50-50.
right? So I listened to Harry Kane afterwards, and his interview was a little disappointing, actually. He was slightly condescending towards Ghana when he was saying, countries like that.
These type of countries.
I'm like,
what does
bro,
that mean?
you're an experienced player. You played for Tottenham, you played for Bayern, you played at the highest level, including England, for many, many years. You come up against... We all knew what Ghana were going to do. Everybody knew it. So if you're going to play against a team that uses a low block, there are certain things you can do as a team that can try and navigate that. For example, stretch the pitch, use a width, shots on outside of the box, you know what I'm saying? Trying to exploit the half spaces, quicken up the passing.
Yeah.
You know, there are things you can do to overcome that. So you just come out and say, oh yeah, but when you play countries like that, bro, you're gonna come up against that more than once in this tournament.
Well,
that is not a valid excuse.
I just think, okay, you look at some of the other countries that have potentially played against low blocks. You see Lionel Messi pull out a hat-trick. You see Kylian Mbappe scoring a brace. You see, even Erling Haaland, that really, truly is in an underdog type of team in Norway, still beating the African champions. They found something. And I think this is one of the issues that maybe a lot of England fans, or not issues, doubts that maybe a lot of England fans had towards Harry Kane, in the sense that when we really need you in those big moments, when we need you to score that goal, we can't really look to you. Yesterday, he had a sitter, really, and he blazed it.
There was, by the way, and it sat up. I know it was coming.
It was perfect.
It sat up well for him.
Haaland scores that. Lionel Messi scores that. Mbappe scores that.
Part of the reason people like Harry Kane is the power he can get hitting a ball is unmatched. Only a few people in world football can match it. He could hit that, probably quite literally break the back of the net on target. Even if you smack it right in the middle, it'll probably deflect off somebody and go in. Hit someone, go in. It'll hit the post. Anything. All you got to do is get it on target there. And instead, over the bar. And I sat there. My first thought was France.
Yeah, I said that as well.
My first thought was France over the bar again.
Literally.
Obviously, not as big a moment. England are still favourites against Panama.
Of course.
And God, I need them. As I was explaining to you, I need them to beat Panama because I've got flights to Atlanta. I've got I need England to win their group here. England, obviously, they will go through, but I just think as well. Yeah, you're right. Maybe switch up and don't play Harry Kane against Panama.
No, I'm not saying that you can't play him, but I just think this is where the question marks come in terms of when other England fans might debate who's England's best ever player or best ever striker or whatever. Some people say Wayne Rooney, which is a very fair point. Some people argue Harry Kane. Look,
I would say Harry Kane. But the thing is,
I would say Harry Kane as well.
If he's not performing well, then the manager, come on, you can take him off. You know what I mean, we spoke about Martinez and Ronaldo. I don't see Scaloni taking Messi off, but that's slightly different.
Yeah, Messi has scored 5 of 5 goals for them.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is, if a guy is clearly struggling and he's not playing well, you've got backup there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You've got Watkins, you've got Tony, you've got 3 strikers.
I just think, although obviously I think a striker is also just as good as his service. One of the things we say about Harry Kane, his all-around game is very good. He can drop in, he can create moments. We didn't see any of that yesterday. No. Do you know what I mean? Again, to be honest, I actually forgot for large spells he was actually on the pitch. I couldn't really name you anything that he did. And look, you could say that for the whole team. I even thought the midfield was quite poor. But then I looked at the stats this morning. Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice created the most chances. That is the biggest issue there. The two players that are rotating in the 6th position created the most chances yesterday, played the most forward passes yesterday. So you have to look at your wingers, you have to look at your striker, you have to look at your number 10. You also have to look at your fullbacks that are inverting and saying, What were you guys doing yesterday?
Another area that was poor yesterday is that and this is another area where if a team plays low block, you can exploit set pieces and corners and free kicks. Had delivery yesterday from the wings.
Yeah.
From corners. I mean, Declan Rice is normally metronomic in his accuracy. Yesterday, I thought his delivery for most of those was poor.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the only one.
I agree with that. But then also, I think the positioning. So as I said, they've got that one tall centre-back. He just stood at the front post and he was like, cool, I know I'm taller than everyone here. I will jump as high as possible and head it out. And that's what he did. Why is nobody at the front post then? Or why maybe we not gone short? Or do you know what I mean? Like,
go back
those
post.
Exactly. Why don't we try maybe a different type
And to be fair,
of
this is
in-swing
why-
or
Do you reckon
out-swinger?
that's why England started because there were a lot of outswinging corners?
Yeah, so I actually mentioned this against Croatia, and look, to be fair to them, Harry Kane scores from the outswinger, but Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke are brilliant set-piece takers. We've seen Saka this season, he's just as good as Declan Rice in corner situations. His thing is on the money. When I'm seeing Declan Rice on the right taking a corner, I'm just like, oh, why don't we just use, you know, Noni Madueke or Bukayo Saka, who are also very, very, very good at set pieces.
Saka.
Especially
Saka's deliveries are one of the key things
yo,
about him.
his delivery basically won us the league. Do you know what I mean? Against Burnley. So I do think, you know, I understand Declan Rice is brilliant. I'm not talking it down whatsoever, but I also think this is where maybe the manager needs to say, right, this isn't working. Ghana's in a low block. Maybe we need a different type of style. Maybe Jude, I know you're more of a box crasher, but maybe I need you to be more of an actual 10 today, and you know, maybe sit in a bit
And
more.
that's why
line-breaking
I'm not
passes.
trying to hear people like Harry Kane when they're coming out of excuses.
Yeah, because they didn't do enough.
Yeah, exactly. There's enough talent.
I hate when players actually talk about what went wrong in the
Yeah,
international tournament.
like Rodri does it as well.
Stop.
I hate
go.
it.
My bad, lads. We're going to fix
Yeah.
it next week. That is all I'm not even
Exactly.
I'm not. I mean, obviously, I've got the investment in England now with my as I keep talking about my flights. But in the way of just like, if you're an England fan, I'm sat there and you go, oh yeah, we didn't do this. I do not care.
We don't.
I
Yeah.
don't care what you think went wrong. I don't want
I
you
just
to say it. I need to go there.
I
and
said,
go, my bad.
we were
I wanna get
talking,
it done next
myself
time.
and
That's it.
Kenya, we were talking off camera, and I said, that game yesterday, England-Ghana, reminded me of watching Arsenal circa 21-22.
Yeah,
When
no
teams would
ideas.
come to the Emirates and they would just low block us and we had no
You
idea.
couldn't do anything about
it.
And then afterwards, the manager would come out and say, oh, you know, teams come in, they're not trying to win. And no,
gotta
I mean,
figure something out.
we
Cool,
knew what
man.
Ghana were going to do. We said
Exactly.
it. Myself and Kenya did a show on my channel, LL Sports TV. Please
Big
check
it
it
up.
out.
Make sure you subscribe.
And we talked about Ghana. They're not really going to score many goals.
Yeah.
They're not about
One
that,
in 2 games.
Yeah.
right? So
That
their only
Panama
chance.
game that they won is the first game they've won in 6. All the other 5 before that, they lost and drew 1. And that was against Wales. No.
So to be fair to Queiroz,
No, trust me. Yeah.
So,
Trust
like,
me,
what
I'll
does
watch it.
that
Carlos
say?
Queiroz, how did you think they were going to play?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not going to try and engage us up
They
the
know
pitch, are they?
already.
That's suicide.
And just in terms of England, it's come out of the BBC. Sammy Mockbell, who I actually really like, to be fair, big up to him,
Yeah.
says England will assess the fitness of Reece James and Declan Rice before their final World Cup game against Panama. Rice obviously limped out the Boston Stadium after England's goal draw against Ghana. Sources have indicated, so he had heavy strapping on his left calf. Sources have indicated that there is no major concern that the injury could impact his involvement on a longer term basis in the United States.
I want to see him rested for
But it's
Panama.
understood that the issue requires assessment and rest before a decision can be made for his availability against Panama,
Yeah.
with England manager Thomas Tuchel and his staff needing to weigh up the risks of playing him. Reece James will also require assessment ahead of the game. The 26-year-old completed a full game against Ghana, but will be checked by medics in the next 24 hours. Obviously, he's got a long injury history. If Declan Rice has even a chance of needing rest him.
Listen,
Oh, I agree. He was on the yellow
He
as
shouldn't
well.
even be
Yeah.
in the equation for Panama. It's clear that the guy's
Well,
carrying
that's what
an
you called
injury.
Jordan Henderson up for, innit? Just playing, bruv.
You've got. We spoke about the
They made
strength
him,
in depth.
Oh, yeah, and him.
Yeah, play Cobby. Play
We
Cobby and
spoke
Anderson.
about the strength in depth. Declan Rice should not play against Panama. Neither should Reece James. Anyone that's carrying an injury or a knock. Listen,
Yeah.
the squad
God,
is
imagine,
deep.
Got enough
if only, by the way, there was another really, really good right back who's fantastic on the ball that you could play instead of Reece James. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd rest Harry Kane as well. Give Ollie Watkins a chance.
Yeah, bro. So I wanted to incorporate this into Rocket Rank for this week, talking about like the big changes that England should be making for the Panama game. So obviously, £10 a month at the moment, Kenya. Crazy.
£10.
Only 10.
Unlimited.
10. What else can you buy for £10? Not much these days.
Yeah, not
you
much.
can get a month of unlimited data, calls, text, and 20 gigs to use in the EU. And if you are heading out to the US, like me, hopefully next week, you get another gigabyte to use globally as well. So, that's a plenty of all you get, plus perks, content, other prizes, match tickets, watch along stuff. I don't even know. There's such a massive list of things. Possible match tickets, watch along, prizes, the Q&A sessions as well. There's
lots
one
of
with
perks.
there was Marty and Doyle had the recent. Was that happened yet?
Yeah, it happened yesterday.
Yeah, it happened yesterday. That was it. It happened yesterday. Loads and loads of stuff going on. Check it out. Link in the description on YouTube, or scan the QR code on the bottom right side of your screen. But honestly, for me, I know I'm a Man United fan, and so I sound so biased when I say this. But start Rashford and start Mainu.
I actually said
Panama.
yesterday on the watch along.
And Saka.
I actually said get Kobe Mainoo on.
But he did.
I actually did say that because I was like, he's a good ball carrier as well. Like, people forget that. Like, I understand that obviously Rice. I know those three that played yesterday. They're much ahead than Kobe Mainoo. But he's still a brilliant player, and he's a good ball carrier.
Mainoo's got
good at
qualities
line
that
breaking
neither of them have, and
passes.
that's why you bring him, yeah.
He's got the young energy. Like, why not? It's just something a bit different.
On yesterday's stream, Laurie asked Alice and I. He was like, "What are Mainoo's biggest and best strengths?" And basically, what I said to you is the difference. Obviously, Declan Rice is a fantastic ball carrier, but when he wants the ball to go out the pitch, he kind of just takes the ball and he just runs in a straight line as far as he can. For the most part, Declan Rice, he will outpace and beat everyone with the ball at his feet. That's what he does. He's a bit like a bulldozer. Whereas Mainoo's a little more like he will kind of get up the pitch by just playing loads of 1-2s, and he's great in tight space. So he'll play a 1-2, bounce it back, play 1-2. And I think that's what you need in a low block. So, for example, if England had 79% possession, and if Mainoo was on the pitch, that 79% possession would have been used much more efficiently, because Mainoo's very good at getting the ball, recycling, shielding, and keeping possession, and then passing it out wide or passing it through the middle. That's what he's best at, and clutch goals.
Yeah,
I did not understand why he wasn't on for the last half an hour or so.
This is what I said.
Like, you're playing Eze basically as a 6, effectively, is what happened towards the end of the game. It was just everyone was on the pitch. If you've got loads of attacking players on the pitch, cool, but you need someone behind them to actually keep the ball ticking so they can actually. Because there wasn't like there were loads of attackers on the pitch and loads of chances were created.
I guess that's why Reece James was still on.
Maybe, but I just
played there this season.
Mainoo is fresh. He's got off the back of some of the best football I've seen him play in the last, the last 5-6 months has been some of the best football I've seen Mainoo play since he's obviously made his debut for United. Just didn't get it. Just did not get why he wasn't on. And why Rashford came on with 7 minutes
against
to go.
Ghana to inspire him to try a few different things. I think we want to see that, don't we? We've seen England look good against Croatia. We've seen them look pretty, let's face it, lackluster yesterday. He's got a big squad there, a talented squad. I'd like to see him use some of the options, because these guys deserve a chance. No point in taking them across the world and not giving them no minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see Ollie Watkins. Let's see Ivan Toney. Let's see some of the other guys.
I'd really like to see
Let's
Watkins
see Kobe Mainoo. You know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah. I just, like I said, I don't agree with rewarding bad starts. So, to me, the left wing has to be sorted. Someone different has to start, whether that's Rashford, whether that's Eze, whether that's Morgan Rogers, whether you actually play a different formation, I don't mind. To me, you can't just keep persisting with someone who's just, it almost seems like it's not bothered, Anthony Gordon.
And as I said before,
honest.
we spoke about this on yesterday's show, Dylan. It was me, you and Alice. We were saying that you don't want to have a situation whereby you've got a squad of players and a lot of them are not being used, and then you get down to the business end of the tournament, you're desperate for results, and then you're bringing on guys that have really played and expect them to come on and hit the ground
match
running
the
and play.
intensity of a World
They
Cup
need to be
semi-final or whatever it is.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Like, if Ollie Watkins
that's the one
barely
positive
plays any
we can-
minutes...
If that's the
Well, he's
one
not come off the
positive
bench.
we can take from yesterday, is that at least that performance should inspire the manager to say, look, let's look at trying a few different things.
Well, it's like, let's say, so Ollie Watkins hasn't come off the bench in either game. Let's say Harry Kane then plays the full 90 minutes
Ivan
against
Toney.
Panama as well, or Ivan Toney. And then let's say in the quarterfinals, maybe we know Kane's got injury history, or let's say 120 minutes, you actually go, oh, you know what? Yeah, in the quarterfinal or the semi-final, it's 2-2. Right, Ollie Watkins, I know I've not played you for a single minute this entire tournament and barely spoken to you, but can you please go and save us?
True.
Whereas, so
To be
if he's
fair,
not
though,
had
Ollie
match
Watkins
minutes
has
in like
done
a
that,
month.
though.
He has done that, but I
it
do
against
think,
the
but in the way of, like, if you then don't have anything, no competitive minutes for a month, versus
I hear
have
it.
one game, have one start, have 60 minutes.
No,
for the Panama game.
I hear it.
I
don't
with
disagree.
Laurie, it gets you more involved.
I actually don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that obviously against the Netherlands, he just
Yeah, I
came.
know he did.
Gareth Southgate persisted with Harry Kane the whole time, despite the fact that he was injured and obviously shouldn't have really played. To be honest, probably should have just come on in spells. Shouldn't have actually played 90 minutes. We got to the Netherlands game like, this guy's knackered. Like he definitely is not going to bring us anything. Brought on Ollie Watkins, just runs down Virgil van Dijk and just slots it in the corner. Like, to be fair, he did come off. Maybe as well for those players on the bench, they might feel even more like vindicated when they come off the bench. Like, there's no way I'm going back. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you've broken free from prison. Like, there's no way I'm going back. Like, I'm going to.
If you remember, in that tournament, Gareth Southgate took a lot of criticism. People said basically, look, you were pretty cowardly. You were not prepared to take those tough decisions to top some of the senior players.
England only scored 7 goals last tournament.
Yeah.
But people said that, you know, what tournament was it that Harry Kane had a really disastrous...
What, the last Euros?
Yeah.
It was the last year.
Last year
England scored 7, made the final, but they scored 7 goals.
Remember,
in 7
literally, like, Jude Bellingham just got us out of the groups. Then it was like, I think Saka had a brilliant moment. Ollie Watkins had a brilliant moment. You have that thing with the penalties as well. Cole Palmer
But
turns
if you
up in the
remember,
final.
the narrative was Southgate was not brave enough to make tough
And he wasn't.
decisions.
And he did.
Exactly.
wasn't.
So we've got Thomas Tuchel in, who is considered
was
to
brave.
be that type of person.
Well,
so
yeah,
now
his-
we're
his-
here.
His squad
So let's hope
selection
he lives up
decision.
to-
His squad selection decision was incredibly brave. Heavy criticism from me included.
Yeah.
And a lot of people criticised it.
Look,
but back it, keep going. You can't make that massive squad selection and then go, oh, you know what? Actually, no, I'm going to play it safe now with
Yeah.
these guys.
I
You've got to keep that energy going.
I feel like other than a few players, I actually agreed with a lot of the selection, to be honest. Anthony Gordon, I had no idea why. Jordan Henderson had no idea why. Jed Spencer's a question mark.
I thought Jed Spence was quite good yesterday.
I thought he was all right yesterday. I actually, like I said, I felt sorry for him because what more can you ask? If you ask your fullback to create something, right, and he's running up the wing and he's looking for his winger and his winger is nowhere to be seen, like what else do you want him
thing is
to
having
do?
a pint for the
The one
hydration rate.
good cross that actually came from that side when both him and Anthony Gordon were on the pitch was from Jed Spence, literally.
Yeah.
So why was the manager like absolutely?
Because I think he was holding on to the ball a bit too long, and I would agree. But I also feel like I could say that for a lot of the other players as well, holding on to the ball too long, not passing, and then when making passes, like I thought Anderson and Declan Rice yesterday had a lot of sloppy pass, like had a few moments where I'm like, yo, what's that?
I do
unlikely.
think, though, having said all of this, that it's important to put things into perspective because in the first game we waxed lyrical about the performance, quite rightly.
Yeah.
It was, especially in the second half. This performance, the latest performance against Ghana, was ultimately very disappointing. Not just the result, but the performance and performance of some of the key players. However, like I said earlier, I would like the manager and the coaching staff to use this as a positive and say, right, look, you know what, we came a little bit unstuck here. How can we? Because, as I said,
it's all
Ghana
so
will not
fixable.
be the first team that does this to England.
Yeah.
Panama
Yeah.
will do it on Saturday. Panama will do exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
They will defend deep.
I mean, they
try
did the
and hit
same
someone
against
ground.
Ghana.
Yeah. And it took the 95th minute winner from Ghana
Yeah.
to actually get the point.
And when you get to the, as I said before, the business end of the tournament, you're playing against the better teams, the teams that can defend very well. We've got to be careful because you don't want every game going to penalties because sooner or later you're
That
going to
catches
come
up with
unstuck. So, you know.
No, I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
Crazy. But another team, I think, who impressed slightly more like yesterday compared to their first game was Portugal.
Yeah.
5-0 win over Uzbekistan. Ronaldo getting his first goal and then his second goal becoming Portugal's all-time top goal scorer.
Yep.
Most goals. He's eclipsed Eusebio now. Obviously, Ronaldo got a brace. Mendes got a goal. Nemetov scored an own goal. Rafael Leao got a goal off the bench as well. And Portugal, we spoke yesterday on the show, it was like, you know, other teams have had a poor first game and then announced themselves in the second game, such as like Spain, for example.
Yeah.
Portugal needed to do the same and they've done it. And so has Ronaldo.
Yeah, you know what? I was saying to Richard earlier, I think some of the revisionism on Ronaldo is just disgraceful, man. Like, we're talking about him like some of the tweets and some of the things that I see pundits say, you're talking about like it's Danny Welbeck. This is Cristiano Ronaldo we're talking about. 5 times Ballon d'Or winner. Back-to-back Champions League winner. He was successful at every single club he's ever played at. We're not going to talk about him like he's a loser. Like, let's be real. And I feel like I watched that Congo game, right? And I think, what can you ask your striker to do when all 3 of your midfielders created 1 chance in 90 minutes? Like, do you know what I mean? You've got Bruno Fernandes, João Neves, Vitinha in there. Vitinha didn't play a single forward pass. Bruno Fernandes created his first chance in the 92nd minute. You've got Rafael. I think Rafael started that game, if I remember right.
No, he came.
No,
because
he come off the bench.
It was Bernardo Silva and Neto.
Yeah,
on the wings.
what is that, bro?
Yeah, that's
Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto, I think, has actually had a decent tournament so far.
Neto
in terms of
got
wing
the
play.
assist.
Yeah, I think he's actually had a
first game.
But like, what is that, man? Like, and I actually felt sorry for him because people coming out just absolutely berating him. Oh, how's he even in a bro? This guy, like, we're forgetting that for a good 5 years, this guy was terrorizing Europe. Like,
Can I just say
let's be serious,
that, right?
man.
I hear all that, and listen, it's not often I disagree with you, but I am going to take you to task a little bit in this one. Ronaldo has scored 2 goals against Uzbekistan, one of the lowest ranked teams in the tournament, right?
Ranked
Okay.
50th.
Yeah, so I don't think
Which is
that
above Ghana,
him
I think.
scoring a brace
Right.
against Uzbekistan is...
Above Ghana, you just said.
No, but what I'm saying is I don't think Ronaldo scoring a brace against Uzbekistan in a game that Portugal won 5-0 is enough to wipe away all that criticism, because
Okay.
prior to the game against Uzbekistan, Ronaldo had gone 10 consecutive games in tournaments without finding the net.
Okay.
His performances, as well as not scoring, have been poor. People have questioned his attitude and his presence in the team and his influence as being slightly negative towards certain other players. So I think it's only right that people called him out for that. And me personally as well, I called out Roberto Martinez, who I called a coward, and I still do, because I just don't think this man has it within him to take the tough decision, to even hook him. He won't do it because he's scared of Ronaldo. It's clear. And I don't think, with respect, Kenya, that him scoring against Uzbekistan yesterday has done enough to silence. People say, oh, he silenced his critics. No, he's not. What? Because
Why
he scored
not?
against Uzbekistan.
Yeah, but you could say that
Come
for
on,
so
man.
many other players this tournament.
Okay, fine. but
Kylian
he's
Mbappe
not-
scored. I love Kylian Mbappe. He's probably my favourite player in the tournament. But he scored against a brace against Iraq. Like, let's be serious. Messi
And
scored.
Senegal.
Yeah, but okay. But Iraq, is that not standard? Messi scored a hat-trick against Algeria. When was the last time Algeria was good? But we just give those players praise because they turned up in that moment and they won their team the game.
Yeah, but
he scored the opening goal and then he scored the third goal. He's done his job. I just feel like when you watch that
So you
Congo...
think he silenced his critics?
I mean, they basically sat there and said,
But he then
Ronaldo's
didn't do his
washed.
job in the first game. That's basically what everyone was saying. It
Yeah,
was a 41.
but then
can
what
you still do your job?
about
He didn't in the
Bruno
first game,
Fernandes? What did Bruno Fernandes do? The best Premier League player. What did he do?
You know, Bruno
created
had
his
Bruno
first
had a poor
chance.
game as well.
He
Portugal were
exactly, that's my
Portugal
point.
were terrible in the first
exactly,
game as a
that's my
whole.
point. So
But Ronaldo's part of that.
we're
He
sat
is
here
Mr.
saying,
Portugal.
yeah, that's my point. So we're sat here saying, right, one midfielder's just won the Champions League. He came second in the or third in the Ballon d'Or race, right? He's this prince of whatever midfielders at the moment. He did nothing against Congo. Nobody's talking about Vitinha. What did Bruno Fernandes, best player in the Premier League, made his first creative decision in the 92nd minute? I watched that game. Ronaldo's there. Yo, bro, pass me the ball. I'm running in. Nah, I'm gonna sideways pass it. I'm not even gonna make a forward pass. What do you expect the brother to do? You've got Bernardo Silva playing on the wings. What is that, bro? You've got
But he plays on the wing for City.
Hardly.
And now for Real Madrid.
Hardly. Like, let's be honest. This is Bernardo Silva
to
of
be
10
fair,
years
Kenya,
ago. This is
I'm
Bernardo
going to have to
Silva
pull
of
your
now.
card on this. I think I'm going to have to pull your card on this one.
We're being
You are
disingenuous.
indulging in what I call whataboutism. We're not talking about Bernardo Silva. We're talking about Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He went 10 games.
So is it
without
not a
score-
team sport?
No, I'm just saying that.
That's
No,
my
but
point.
he has to take
We're
responsibility.
We're talking like there's 11 Ronaldos on the pitch, and you know what?
No,
there were
but-
11 Ronaldos on the pitch. He probably scoring all them games, mate. That's the reality.
No, but we
when are
shouldn't
we
do
gonna
that.
actually call out some of the other players that Ronaldo
No, but
plays
we're
with?
talking
that
about
have been
Ronaldo. We're not
trashed,
talking about the
genuinely?
other players.
But you guys are acting like Ronaldo plays for Portugal by himself. He doesn't. There's 11 players on that pitch. And the reality is, I'm looking at Rafael, who doesn't want to track back. I'm looking at Bernardo Silva, who's not an out-and-out winger, doesn't really have the legs or the pace. I'm looking at a midfield that created one chance for their striker, and it was in the 92nd minute. And instead of actually looking at it from an objective point of view and saying, Portugal on a whole were poor. Ronaldo contributed to that, yes, but the whole team was poor. They didn't do enough. Instead, we're just scapegoating the one guy because he's the biggest name in it. If Argentina play poor, we won't scapegoat Messi. We'll just sit here and say, you know what, the whole team didn't really perform to the levels to maybe facilitate for Messi or do what they needed to do. Same like we've just said with England. Although Harry Kane was poor in that game, everybody else was poor in that game. So that's my point. When we're going to talk about Ronaldo, let's not pretend that it's just Ronaldo on the pitch. There's a Bruno Fernandes, there's a Vitinha, there's a João Neves.
Yeah, but we could easily say that about Harry Kane.
That's what I just said. And we just sat here for 50 minutes or so.
But you agreed with me.
Yeah,
you
and we just sat here for
Harry Kane should get hooked. You just said
and
that.
we talked about Anthony Gordon and we talked about Declan Rice. I'm not saying that he can't, but my point is that people are talking about Ronaldo like he's some bum, like he's some...
No, they're not saying
They
that.
are.
I'm not saying that.
They're acting like he's, well, maybe not you, but they're acting like he's some bum. When the reality is, I've watched Portugal, even in the Nations League where he won it. That's Ronaldo. Ronaldo said, say no more, you man not on it. I'm getting this back to 2-2. We're going penalties, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think the thing is as well with
come on, bro. Let's be real about
with Ronaldo
the
in that first game when they drew to DR Congo.
Yeah.
That was at the same period of time where Argentina as a whole, their team against Algeria are actually pretty poor, but Messi stepped up and scored a hat-trick. But at the same time against Senegal, France were poor. Mbappe locks in second half, scores 2 goals, one of them being a screamer at the end of the game to lock down the 3-1 win. And then at the same time in the same sphere, well, even Jude Bellingham, right? England weren't fantastic against Croatia at points, but then kind of Jude Bellingham locked in and was like, right, I'm going to get this goal, and England stepped up massively. England's players did step up. Kane obviously literally missed a pen, but because he did some stupid stutter. Where at the same time and in parallel, Portugal were terrible and Ronaldo did nothing in that game. So that's why, obviously, the focus on Ronaldo because he has made Portugal is all about him. And he's basically made.
That's because he's the greatest ever player.
No, I know, but that's just what does happen.
Yeah,
Portugal have been criticised as a whole, but obviously Ronaldo's
hardly. I've not seen hardly anyone write articles about Vitinha. I've not seen anyone write articles about Bruno Fernandes, who's supposed to be the best player in the Premier League. I've not seen anyone write about Pedro Neto or Bernardo Silva, one of the...
I think people have been critical about Portugal underachieving in tournaments. I think people have.
What
I don't know. I think people have been critical about Portugal underachieving in
gets
tournaments.
The most stick.
Hardly.
I think Martinez gets more.
Players on the pitch. He gets more. He's not even on. He's not even playing. The reality is, to be fair to him,
you know why?
He's picked a team that's good enough to win.
You saw what he did to Belgium when he was there as well. Awful manager.
But I just think...
Let's not sugarcoat that. Listen,
I don't disagree.
What I would say to you, Kenya, is if Ronaldo, right, keeps that same energy, and when we get to the knockout stages and he's playing against better teams and he's scoring, then he silenced his critics. The point I'm making is a couple of goals against Uzbekistan, with respect, and I'm trying to be respectful, Uzbekistan are not a good side, right? It's their first ever World Cup. They're way off it. You scoring 2 goals against Uzbekistan, for me, is not enough to wipe away all that criticism. A lot of it justified, in my opinion. I think that they should have been looking at other options up top. We just said the same thing about England, didn't we? We said exactly the same thing. If players are not pulling their weight, you got squad depth, use it. But my thing is, I don't think Martinez has the cojones to make that decision. You can tell by the way he talks. Mm-hmm. He's doing everything he can to cap for Ronaldo. He's clearly scared.
At the same time, if you're talking about playing or not playing based on merit, maybe Ronaldo should have been dropped based on merit for the game here. However, he should play their third game because he scored a break.
Yeah, okay,
on merit, he then should.
What I'm saying to you is, let's see.
But then he's got to go and do it again. Is what you're saying.
People saying, "Oh, he's silenced." Hell no! What? Because he scored a couple of. That would be like a top Premier League striker. He's gone X amount of games without scoring, and then you get a brace against Wolves. Then I'm supposed to say, "Oh, I'm really sorry, man," because you know what? You scored 2 goals against Wolves in a game that Arsenal won 7-0. Come on.
Portugal's last game is going to be a much better barometer of it because they're playing Colombia. Colombia.
Let's see how he goes there.
If Ronaldo then ends up, let's say, just not scoring or having a poor game against Colombia, then I think you'd be right. Maybe in the go, he scored 2 against Uzbekistan, but ultimately didn't score in either of the other games and was pretty anonymous in both games. But
if he didn't score, but he had a good game, I'll be man enough to say, you know what?
But can Ronaldo have a good game without scoring now? Because it's pretty much all he's there to do.
We'll see. If
Does that question make sense?
I know what you're saying, because
Ronaldo is only there to score.
if he influences the game in a positive way, he might get a couple of assists. You know what I'm saying? He might. You know what I mean? He might.
But he's there. He's at Portugal now. His role in Portugal is pure goal involvement.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's not tracking back. It's not defending. It's not.
No one's asking him to track back.
Because
he's never tracked back.
This is what I mean.
He's never tracked back
because of Ronaldo, who he is. Basically the only thing he can do in the Portugal squad is.
I think that's a bit binary to say that.
Do you think so?
No, yeah.
Because it's like, for example, like the other things that strikers can be asked to do would be like Harry Kane, which is drop deep and get your wingers in goal. Ronaldo doesn't really do that. They're talking about leading a line of high press. Ronaldo doesn't really do that. He is there because he's the greatest, possibly the greatest goal scorer of all time. The guy's on 975 goals.
25 goals.
So he is
1,000.
He is if not one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, and that's basically what he has still going for him.
I am not saying that the guy's not a great player. He's without question a great player, one of the greatest to ever play. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that the criticism which he was
and that's fair to say
critiqued was that unfair. It may have been a little bit blown over the top.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, just because you scored against Uzbekistan, I'm sorry, doesn't wipe away the fact that you went 10 previous games in tournament football without scoring. And during that time, your performances have been, let's be honest, poor. So people, you know what I mean? No one is above praise. No one's beneath criticism. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that you can't criticise Ronaldo, but I just think people nowadays talk about Ronaldo like, he's just this washed up scrub, when he's not. The reality is his contribution to not even just football, sport, is just too immense for us to talk down a player of that size. And I feel like a lot of people that spoke about the Congo game didn't actually watch it. And the reality is I watched that game and I saw all 11 players not doing enough to try and win the game. That's my reality. If Ronaldo in the next game, he's terrible and everyone else is doing their job, cool, you can criticise him. You can say, yo, man, you're supposed to be the guy to help us lead us over the line and do this. But I also do think a lot of this comes from disingenuous chat. Like, the guy's still going. The guy's still got something. And we need to remember, Portugal aren't a big footballing nation like Brazil or Germany or even Argentina. They've not won a lot in their history. A lot of their wins, in fact, I'm pretty sure all of it has come under the time that Ronaldo's played. Winning the Euros, winning the Nations League. Do you know what I mean? Like, the reality is we expect Brazil, Germany, Argentina, France, etc., Spain to, do well in these type of tournaments because historically they have. We're looking at Portugal like, okay, you've got one of the best players in your team, but historically you've not really done it in big tournaments.
Yeah.
And to be fair to him, he's, top goal scorer in World Cups for them. Fair, you just got to give praise. I think two things can be true at once. You can say, right, you weren't good in that game, but you can also just recognise that he's still a great. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, Manuel Simpler 2754. I've literally been reading that name for like 2 minutes to make sure I can pronounce it right. It says top scorer in the Nations League, by the way, Spain/Germany, which is what you were talking about earlier. Ronaldo basically locking in in the Nations League.
Mate, I remember before that Nations League game, everyone being like, Spain are going to destroy Portugal, it's going to be Lamine Yamal show. And to be fair, for a bit of it was. And Ronaldo said, nah, not on my watch, mate. I'm the OG ego in this.
But
and he just turned it on.
And to be fair, the game afterwards, Ronaldo celebrating with Yamal basically behind him.
Trust me,
it was very Ronaldo.
He in that moment just showed us the guy's 40, but he still demands respect. He still deserves the level of respect that he gets. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's my point. We're talking about him like he's miles off it. He's not.
He's just less on it than he used to.
I genuinely think if Ronaldo played for another nation, like we probably wouldn't even have it. If he played for another big nation, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Maybe.
Let's see how he gets on.
Basically, I guess as well, Portugal have always been a bit of a letdown.
Yeah,
not always. Obviously, they won Euro 2016.
They have,
but like for the most part, Portugal
historically they're not on the levels of evidently even Argentina that's won Copa America a lot of times. Brazil, Germany, like they're not. Spain, like they're just not. But he's actually brought them into a level of respect where we're like, Portugal. Even now we're sat here kind of discussing Portugal actually have a good chance to win the World Cup if they get everything in order.
I still agree with that.
Yeah, they got one of the best midfields. They've got one of the best teams in the tournament.
They haven't lost.
Exactly.
It's a draw and a win.
Exactly.
It's not that bad. Also, I just want to say quick props. Happy birthday, Messi.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. 39 today,
Lionel
5 goals,
Messi.
top scorer so far in the competition, heading into the
Right.
final round of games. And this is where I tend to start enjoying international tournaments. 2 games at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Third round of the group games. This is where I start to enjoy it a bit
There's
more.
jeopardy involved.
Because that's when I feel, there is a bit more jeopardy involved here. Obviously, there is a slight... kind of the first 2 games of the group stage are always a bit of like a
Timid
right
and-
you're trying to just
Find your
get
feet.
to the here is where I always feel like it starts.
Yeah.
And shout out to FIFA because FIFA and Infantino do get a lot of stick, deservedly. However, I think that this head-to-head rule is...
Yeah, I like
The head-to-head
I
rule
like
is better than the goal difference
I
one,
like
yeah,
it as well.
for sure.
so we have to give credit.
Yeah.
because then it makes teams want to actually
Exactly.
beat the other team.
Yeah, like you do any of it. It's in the way of like, for example, like if England Croatia, England beat Croatia when the 2 of them played up together. So
Yeah.
if they both end up on what was it, 6 points or
Yeah.
whatever in the final game, then England deserve to go through.
And sometimes you can project forwards and see that there really is an advantage in trying to win your group because you can almost look ahead and envisage who you're going to play next and think, if we don't beat this team
Yeah.
and we finish second in our group, we go up against a team that, we'd rather not play. So
Yeah. I mean, and like for the moment, obviously tonight there's 3 sets of groups. Well, tonight it's Group B and Group C, who are the 2 groups that are going head to head tonight, and then obviously tomorrow morning is Group A as well at 2 a.m. But I think Group C is the interesting one. The one we're covering here on DR Sports later for the watch along. So stay tuned for that. Is Morocco versus Haiti and Scotland versus Brazil. State of play in that group is we've got Brazil are on 4 points.
Yeah, they've got
and then
better goal
Morocco are
difference.
also on 4 points, but Brazil have the better goal difference because
Yeah.
Brazil and Morocco drew, so that's where goal difference
Yeah.
does come.
But they beat
into play.
Haiti 3-0 in it.
And Scotland have 3 points with
Yep.
a goal difference of 0
Yep.
overall, and Haiti are on 0 with a goal difference of -4.
Yeah, which to be honest, Uncle Larry and I watched Scotland versus Haiti. Scotland very lucky, man. I think the Scottish fans on that one, I understand they're very excited. It's their first World Cup in God knows how long. But that wasn't a great performance, was it? They actually they caught life in that one. Even in the Morocco game, didn't do anything. I thought the setup, come on, man. Like you're a goal down in 3 minutes, you got to go for something. They just locked up. They just didn't really try anything. Then they tried to just claim a penalty that's not even a pen.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know what.
Well,
I don't really
think
have
the point
hope
they
for
want is still a
Scotland, to be
penalty.
honest.
It is Steve Clark, though. I mean, we know he's got
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
I mean, people are talking about, I wonder how Scotland are going to go about playing. We know what they're going to do. I mean,
Scotland dropped Che Adams, man. Che Adams in that Morocco game was so bad.
Oh, it was terrible.
He was terrible.
It was
like
dire.
really, really, really bad. So I think if they can just, and I think, is it Kieran Tierney? I think Kieran Tierney went down injured as well, unfortunately for them. But maybe in this Brazil game, they not open up too much because, Brazil are still a great team. But they can be exploited. They don't have the greatest midfield, to be honest, Brazil. Their midfield struggled a bit.
The midfield is up and down because
Yeah.
the midfielders that they have are very on their day players.
Yeah,
if Casemiro's
exactly.
having a bad day,
Exactly.
everything falls apart.
Same with
But if
Paqueta.
he's having a good day, if Casemiro's having a good day, he's still one of the best midfielders around.
Paqueta's a confidence
Hot-
player.
hot and cold,
Bruno
hot and
G
cold.
is probably the most stabilised player in that midfield.
And even then,
to
he's an
be honest.
absolute hothead.
Yeah, and then even then, he has his little
Yeah,
dark
he's got his
streaks in him.
moments. Yeah.
If Scotland play tonight and I see Ben Gannon-Doak in the team, then I will say, you know what, fair play. But I know that Steve Clark's not going to do that.
No, he won't.
That's so funny.
But listen, Steve Clark, he manages the team is the way his personality is. He's a dour guy, and I say that with respect, but he is. He's not given to trying to innovate and be creative and be attacking, and so we know what we're going to get with Scotland. They're going to be plucky. They're going to give it everything, but they've been a hard watch for me.
Do we see
Yeah, they have
any
been a hard
chance of
watch.
Morocco being able to leapfrog Brazil tonight? So Morocco would have to win their game by 3 goals more than Brazil. If they both Morocco and Brazil win, Morocco will have to win their game by 3 more goals than Brazil.
Oh, actually,
Whereas I would
so sure. Well,
I think it's
watched
very unlikely.
I watched Brazil versus Haiti, but I watched Haiti versus Scotland, and they were all right.
That's what
They
I
just
mean.
don't have anything up top.
They've got nothing up top, and I think Morocco. I don't think Morocco, especially after watching Morocco Scotland, I don't think Morocco have the facilities to just put 5 past somebody.
Yeah,
no matter,
what?
no matter
I'm gonna
how
say
much
this
better
about
they
Morocco.
are.
I think it's only right. We've got to be fair.
They're
I think
quite a
I've been a little
conservative
bit
team.
disappointed with Morocco
But this
as well.
is what I'm saying.
Because they have done what Scotland
They're a bit
have done.
too
At times,
conservative, aren't
yeah,
they?
they've
Yeah.
been a little bit too conservative.
They could have really and truly battered Scotland, and they were just like
Yeah,
they
they
scored in the
scored the
third
goal,
minute,
and
and
they
they were
dropped
just
back.
like, I can't lie, it just reminded us when we beat Man United. We just scored in the first like 6
What,
minutes.
the beginning of last season?
Yeah, we just scored in the first 6 minutes and said, I can't be bothered to do anything
sat
else.
there and just kind of
And we just
thought,
sat there and we were just like, oh, we can soak
And,
up
and
pressure
also,
really
you
well.
also then got away with giving away a pen that wasn't given as well at the same time.
Calm down.
So actually, it really, really was like that game.
I think you're crying a bit too much. You can dry it.
Just saying.
I just think that's
to leave a foul, Cunha.
I do think that
Right.
Scotland will try and again low block their way to a result against
How?
Brazil.
And to be honest,
but
though-
also I don't really get that because Haiti are not. I don't think Haiti will beat Morocco, so I don't think Scotland
Never know.
are in danger. Scotland have 3
But
points.
then on the head-to-head, they would still be fourth.
This is what I mean. Scotland cannot finish any lower than third this
Yeah,
game, right?
can't.
Scotland are in third place and they've got 3 points, which likely means they will be one of the 8 best third place teams.
Yeah.
If they then just sit there, they're
But
playing
then the
Brazil,
thing
man.
is-
Go and try and have some. Go and do something.
But the
These
thing
guys
is, they've
won't
got
stand
a
there,
goal
they'll try and-
they got a goal difference of 0, don't they? Actually, they probably would still be one of the best.
But
third
yeah,
place
because they
teams.
have 3 points.
But like, it's like, I'm trying to think about like, what about Senegal? Senegal's likely to finish third in their group. Well, they are going to finish third in their group.
Yeah, but they've got 0 points with a -3 goal difference.
Okay.
And they're playing Egypt. Sorry, Iraq.
Oh, they could turn that around. Come on.
They could
Yeah.
turn that around, yeah. But like you said, so
We need them in the- we need them to go further in the tournament.
Other third place teams.
Yeah,
at the
tell
moment.
us what other
Actually,
third place-
let's get the. Can I? Oh, I swear I
think
have
if
the
you
table
go
up
on
somewhere.
BBC.
Yeah, got it. Best third place teams: Sweden on 3
With what, 0 goal difference?
with a 0 goal difference. Then Scotland are directly behind them, but Sweden have scored 6, whereas Scotland have only scored 1.
Yeah.
It's Sweden. They've scored 6 and conceded 6.
I know, it's actually crazy.
5-1.
Imagine winning 5-1
and then
against
losing
smoked 5-1.
Yeah.
All your hard work is gone.
And then
I'd
Scotland
be
at the
vexed.
moment. Scotland at the moment in the table is second.
Oh, okay, so they're going
Because then Croatia are third, also on 3 with -1. Algeria are then fourth, 3 with -2.
You know what they should do?
Paraguay -2.
I'd like to see a tinkering with the rules. Bit like what they did with the head-to-head. That if your goal difference is level, say, they should say, right, if you scored 6 goals, I think you should get the nod.
No,
rather,
that's it.
Rather than a team that's scored 1 goal.
So on this, well, that's why
I don't
Sweden
disagree
are
with
first
that.
and Scotland are
Makes it
second.
exciting.
This
Yeah.
is why Sweden are first. So Sweden are on 3 points with a 0 goal difference. So Scotland also 3 points, 0 goal difference. Sweden are ahead because
it's got more
goals
goals.
scored is the next one down. Is
Yeah.
the next one down. Then it's
And I
yellow
rate
cards.
that.
Yeah, I
that's the
think
whole
that's
point
fair.
of you want the whole point of the tournament to be the goals you score,
Yeah,
not necessarily
yeah.
clean sheets.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you want to encourage goals.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise, what you do is you encourage what we saw with Ghana yesterday, which is just
Yeah.
to just low block.
Well,
them
Scotland-
to death.
and
Scotland
Morocco
are
in
one of-
2018, where they kind of weren't prolific, were they? But like they defended really, really well, and they just made it very far.
Scotland are one of 5 teams who have 3 points in the third place thing.
So you said
Then there are-
Sweden, Scotland.
So it's Sweden, Scotland, Croatia, Algeria, and Paraguay
Algeria
all
and
have
Paraguay.
1 win each.
Okay.
Then you've got Cape Verde and Belgium. Jokes. They have 2 each, and then Czech Republic have 1 each. Have 1, and that's the top 8. You've then got DR Congo, Ecuador, Bosnia, and Senegal, who are all below that.
Who does Senegal play next?
Iraq. Is what we just said.
Oh, yeah.
So Senegal play Iraq.
Oh, yeah, 'cause Norway play France.
Bosnia play Qatar. Ecuador play Germany. DR play Uzbekistan. And then Czech Republic play Mexico. Belgium play New Zealand. So the odds of Scotland going from second to out are minimal.
Yeah, it's like
They
very
are
small
minimal.
percentage.
So if they then turn up against Brazil and then don't turn up or don't actually try and play
Yeah.
any sort of football or take a risk, then what's the point? As a Scotland fan, I'd be annoyed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm not gonna say it's a complete free hit because
This
you
is not.
could concede.
I mean,
19
let's be
goals
funny.
but
It's not the Brazil of how many years ago that we remember growing up, is it?
it's a different type of. It's a
a
good
modern.
I still think it's a very good Brazil team.
it's
It's not the flair Brazil team.
It's a Brazil team with good players in
Good
it.
spine. Their spine is good, I think.
Okay, I think the centre backs great.
Centre backs,
goalkeeper, centre backs, Bruno G, Vinicius Junior.
And Cunha, by the way.
Yeah, and Cunha. Everybody,
Cunha in a
all
Brazil
the other
top.
positions are questionable.
This is
are
one of my
question
slightly
mark.
controversial opinions. I think Cunha in a Brazil top is one of Brazil's best players.
Yeah, he's
If
played well
not,
so far.
if not their best player.
controversial
'Cause-
about
No, I wouldn't disagree with
or
that.
possibly even their best player. Maybe.
No, Vinicius- Vinicius
Vinicius
because-
Junior is their best
No,
player.
because Vinny's only turned up in
What? He scored in both games so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's done up this tournament, but historically,
Yeah, historically. But if we're talking
But
about
what's
this
Cunha
tournament,
done historically?
no, couldn't. This is his first World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so,
you
yeah, that's
can't-
actually
you
a fair
can't
point.
anoint him their best player.
what I'm saying is the way if it's their Brazil's spine include a striker that I think is one of their best players.
Yeah, one of.
I'm not in their
But
entire.
I think it's
thing,
clear
but
that
one of their best
what I
players.
would say about Brazil is this: they are
They're finding
to all
their feet
intents and
again.
purposes, they're more functional than fantastic.
Yeah.
What they have a couple of players that can provide individual brilliance, of which obviously Vinicius Junior is one, Cunha is another one. Guimarães is, you know what I'm saying? They're, it's, put it this way, it's going to take a very good team to beat Brazil, even though they're not firing on all cylinders.
I don't think.
You know what I would say as well, and I know this may sound a bit of a stretch, but Argentina are similar. You know, you take out Messi's heroics, they're not that great. They've not been that great to watch.
Well, against Algeria, it was literally just Lionel Messi.
Yeah,
against
but even
Algeria.
against Austria, they weren't. Magnificent.
Against Austria, I would agree. Austria
Messi
gave them
was
a hard.
the-
Austria gave them a hard game.
I think Argentina, their two good players have been Messi, and I think Leach has been very good as well.
Yeah,
centre-back.
I would say one
That's basically
in the
it.
in the last World Cup, the two standouts was Messi and Di Maria. Man, they just
Oh yeah.
them two.
ran that
It was
team
just
off.
it was just their heroic straight through, and I saw it again in Copa
But
America.
for the most
as
part,
well.
they were functional.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's what I'm
because-
seeing with Brazil. They're not getting you off your seat, but at the end of the day, they have been the.
Yeah. But that's maybe what it takes. That's when, to be honest, when you think about some World Cups, there are like teams that win it. There are a lot of games that those teams might have where they weren't maybe that great, but they just made it through.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we played France, like I didn't actually think there was much in it between both teams, but they just got through. But then look what do you know what I mean? They end up going on to win it. Like maybe you just need those special moments in those special moments.
The World Cup, so the knockout tournaments are always about moments.
Yeah, exactly. It's just about
It
moments.
doesn't.
Isn't it?
Stats could not matter less.
Yeah,
than
literally.
during knockout tournaments.
Exactly.
That's where stats matter. Nothing.
Exactly.
Cool. 79% possession. Don't care you didn't win.
Yeah, that's
Who
why
cares?
you enjoy watching the World Cup, because you see players that you wouldn't watch at club level, like, oh my God, who's that?
Yeah.
They look sick, or they've done something amazing, like, and that's just the whole beauty of it. I do agree with that.
Let me be frank with U94 says British. Jealous Scotland's fighting for the World Cup knockouts. How many of our Prem players are you counting to cope that each country had?
What? Cope that each country has.
I don't know.
What was the general gist of that?
Yeah, but
I'm not sure.
Scotland not gonna win it, are they?
The British are jealous that Scotland are there. I mean, I'm kind of jealous as a Welsh
Why
fan
would-
that Scotland are there, but we
I mean,
deserve
why
to
would
not
a
be
country
there
that's
because we got
actually-
knocked
No,
out
but
by
I
Bosnia.
gave Scotland credit for
Yeah.
getting there. All I'm saying is that so far their performances have been
Their
lackluster.
performance
Is
has
that
been
unfair?
drag, bro.
Against Haiti, I thought they were pretty poor.
Terrible.
Against
I'm not being
Morocco,
funny, yeah.
they didn't really go for it, did they?
I'm not being funny.
So what, if we just spoke about England, we're English, and we criticised them heavily for the performance against Ghana.
Why
We
would a
gave them
country-
credit for the performance against Croatia. We're just being balanced.
Why would a country that actually has World Cup heritage and has actually won it be jealous of a country that's only just got to its like second World
First
Cup?
in 30 years or
First
so.
in 30 years. Like, let's be serious.
Can that person look me in the eye?
Like, let's
and
be
say
serious,
that-
bro. I have
say
no hate
that-
for Scotland, but come on.
Can you really look us in the eye and say that Scotland have been good at this World Cup so far?
Been terrible. The only good thing about Scotland so far has been the
fans.
fans. The Tartan Army, they've been sick.
Yeah.
The team has been.
Did you see them take over the
What,
baseball
Boston?
game?
Yeah, no, yeah, I saw the
Jokes.
baseball game. That looked sick.
I'm
Shout out
joking.
Amy.
Have you seen this, Laurie?
No, I didn't.
Shout out
Scotland,
Amy,
the
I saw
Tartan
her-
Army
I saw her
basically just
posting
took-
it.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
posted about it. Basically, Scotland fans. I can't remember which baseball game it was, but they just flooded a baseball game and just like, were
Toronto?
just being.
Actually, no. Amy's in America, isn't she?
Yeah,
Not sure.
it's in Miami. I can't remember what game it was.
No, but listen, your fans have been great, but we're talking about the football team now. The performance against
Yeah,
Haiti
it's been
was
so bad.
under par.
Yeah.
Haiti, one of
But
the
this is what I mean, like, I just
statistically
think-
worst
I just
teams in the
think-
tournament, outplayed Scotland in that game. And then you
Yeah,
got
they
to the
did,
Morocco game, and again, they were lackluster. And then what's disappointing about Scotland is that, as I said before, they're
the Red
dour.
Sox game.
They don't have any
Oh, Red
attacking
Sox game.
instinct
Yeah.
whatsoever under this manager,
Yeah.
which is why I'm looking at this game tonight, and I want to see what they come with.
And we'll be here to cover it on DR Sports. We've got the watch along for the two sets of games. Obviously, I think we'll have both games on at the same time.
Yeah.
But the big watch along for the first set of the final games of the group stage. I'm excited for it. This is where I start to properly enjoy international tournament football, when there's jeopardy, there's knockouts, there's storylines. Like, remember the Germany group, was it in 2022? Well, 2024.
Japan.
They're basically, the German
that was
where
sick.
every team was in every position across the 90 minutes. But we'll be here to cover it all, obviously on DR Sports, plus 12:30 and live at 5 every single weekday, plus some 12:30 shows as well on the weekend. Loads and loads of content coming out. Remember to sign up for Rocket Mobile, £10 off, unlimited calls, text, data. Apart from that, I'll see you at about 10 p.m. here in the studio to cover the game. I'll see you soon. Cheers.
Tottenham have won a game, Flex.
It's unbelievable,
isn't it?
I can't believe it.
So
Ted
good.
Spence is posting penitentiary pictures once
Mario
again.
clean sheet as well.
Solanke with a hat
Where's
trick.
that?
What a day. Join Rocket Mobile and get exclusive access to monthly Q&As and reward drops straight from the DR Sports crew. This one is for the real fans.